Hey, it's May, and I'm back with some more. Um, so I shared it on my post that I've been feeling the need to speak on Neptune as an overall influence, energetic influence, and things like that. I actually took notes because definitely kind of was mind boggled, mind blown. The more that I think I just need to call him I just took a nice, fun deep dive and discovered some things. Because as I'm speaking right now about it, I forgot Neptune, fam, ain't, I don't know if he's Roman or Greek, y'all. I'm gonna go with Roman though. He might be a Roman god. I don't know. Of the sea? Or is that Poseidon? Is Poseidon Greek? 111. Who knows? Y'all know. Anyways, so yes, I definitely want this to be somewhat organized. So this is just the intro. So I have the card Neptune from a deck I'm really liking. Star Codes Astro Oracle. But yeah, check it out. It's number 26, and the keyword is vision. I'm gonna read it, and we're gonna go from there. Like a cool blue pearl floating in an inky sky, inky sea, this planet symbolizes how we flow in the ocean of the collective conscious. Neptune, the modern ruler of Pisces, takes about 165 years to tour the zodiac. On a practical level, it signals water, liquids, oils, and art supplies. On a challenging day, it shows how we avoid gritty reality, whether we escape through our imagination, addictions, or martyrdom. On a lovely day, Neptune speaks of spirituality, imagination, and psychic perception. Action. Pray, meditate, intuit, use your divination. Rest and dream. Activate the right side of your brain and step out of sequential logic into a sense of the infinite. Engage ceremony and ritual. Find a dream or vision and bring it back here to manifest. Because Neptune invokes both intuition and imagination, it can blur the boundaries between the two. It's all too easy to believe that what you say you want and what you are afraid of is in fact reality, which can which can make it easy for others to manipulate you by playing to your hopes and fears. Take each step with care. Working with Neptune is like walking in the fog. You can see the present moment clearly, it's just the future and the past that get lost in the hopes and fears. If the world feels too harsh, or if you're feeling easily overwhelmed, tend to your sensitive antenna. Pray rather than worry. Neptune speaks of our psychic permeability, encouraging us to soak up our surroundings. Use that to your advantage and choose your surroundings carefully. Meditate with a group. Tune into the trees, the earth beneath, the sky above, or sacred sites. Immerse yourself to whatever feeds you. Chamomile tea tonight. Challenge. Neptune overwhelm can turn acceptance into passivity, imagination into illusion, sensitivity and the hunger for spirit into addiction. Watch for water damage. Gift. Allow yourself to float, to swim in that great ocean of the collective consciousness. Soak up the presence of divine soul. There is no separation between you and all sentient beings, between you and the realms of gods and spirits. Excuse Excuse me, my throat's dry. Okay, so Neptune, that's on a pretty, I would definitely say, decent level. Not too beginner, but not too into the practice, you know? So, where do I want to go next? Neptune is, I'm just going to go down this. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, meaning, or one way to think about it is Venus is like the physicality of the flow of love and resources. Like the flow of love and the flow of resources, but like the reasoning why, and the reason being to make it prettier, to make it smell better, to make it more beautiful. There we go. The flow of beauty, the flow of love. Okay, it's like the physical flow of these things, and then Neptune being the higher octave is like the cosmic flow of love. And like it was saying in the guidebook for that deck, the collective consciousness. Like Neptune is, the Neptune energy is supposed to be representative of that cosmic, what they call collective consciousness is just the cosmic, the totality of every expression of this experience on earth. Yeah. Okay. Neptune is also the esoteric ruler of Cancer. Esoteric just means more, it has more to do with the soul, or like the inward experience, and exoteric has more to do with the outward experience. At least that's one way to think about it. That's how I think about it. So yes, Neptune is the esoteric ruler of Cancer. It is the modern ruler of Pisces, and it is currently retrograde in Pisces until December 10th. And as we also learned in the guidebook, it takes 165 years. It takes Neptune about 165 Earth years to go through all the signs in the zodiac. So it is a generational planet, meaning chunks of people are going to have the same Neptune, just at different degrees. Cool. So I'm going to bring it back to the top about the higher octave of Venus, Neptune being the higher octave of Venus. Venus in astrology is the ruler of the signs Taurus, which is the feminine aspect of Venus, and then Libra, which is the masculine aspect of Venus. Alrighty now, y'all. This is where it all started. Because Neptune's retrograde, okay? It is one of the 6 celestial bodies that are currently retrograde. Okay, so let's just keep up with me. Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Chiron are all retrograde as of November 16th, 2025. Now, y'all, Uranus is retrograde and is at 29 degrees Taurus. And Uranus is the higher octave of Mercury. I don't know why I did that, but yes, it is the higher octave of Mercury. So, like I was saying, Mercury is like the physical flow of communication and commerce and, you know, the vehicles or devices in which these things flow. So, like cars, phones, you know, everyday technologies, stuff that we all have to communicate with each other and to get to each other. So even planes, um, boats, any way to get stuff and people to different parts of the different areas, buses, anything. Do you hear me? Okay. And with that being said, it's going, after its retrograde in Taurus, it's going to go back into Gemini. Mercury is the ruler of Gemini as well as Virgo. Gemini is the masculine aspect of Mercury, and Virgo is the feminine aspect of Mercury. So, just to speak on the retrograde, this heavy retrograde time, it's like we're literally all just sitting here with each other. And we are being given the opportunity to just say it with our chest. Okay? Say it with our whole entire chest. Because we're not going to have the opportunity to do it. Because so many things are entering a new cycle. Okay, like 2025 is a 9 year. So 2026, a whole new cycle begins because we're back at 1. Okay, and then Uranus, once it's out of retrograde, it's going to go into Gemini. It hasn't been in Gemini for a while, for some years, y'all. So it's a whole different cycle. It's just bringing a whole new entire vibe. And yeah, it's time to unburden and release the excess water because we are transforming through the realm of the element of air. And how do we know that? Because Pluto is also in the very first degrees of Aquarius, another air sign. Like Uranus is going to be in the very early degrees of Gemini, an air sign. Okay. So there's that. And then my next note, esoteric ruler of Cancer. Okay. And then now it is ruled by the moon. Jupiter is currently in retrograde in the sign of Cancer. I just read from Alex Miles. She's great. I've loved her post for forever. It's a grand water trine, I think that's what it's called. Jupiter is in Cancer, the sun is in Scorpio, and other things are in Pisces. Saturn's in Pisces. But yes, Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. What does that mean for us? It is now ruled by the moon. Okay, because I did speak on the sun. It's currently Scorpio season. Okay. Where was I going with that though? Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. The moon is a luminary. Oh, the sun being in Scorpio because the sun is also a luminary. I spoke on luminary in my last video, and I believe I described it as just pathways in which light flow. So currently, the pathways of light are flowing through the areas of life, the body, cycles that Scorpio represents. So in the body, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto and Mars. Okay. Mars rules what, y'all? Aries. Aries is the head. And then Scorpio. Scorpio is like the excretion parts of the body, inner and outer. But since it's a water sign, I think it has more to do directly with liquids, excreting liquids. And I mean, I guess solids. Look, y'all. We can chat about Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio one day. But I only got a certain amount of time, and I'm trying to stay on topic. So yes, the luminaries, the pathways in which light flows through. Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. It's all coming together now. Because I also wrote timeline correction cleansing. Water, I put that because water is cleansing. Jupiter retrograde in Cancer, the Sun in Scorpio. When I did this, the moon was in Libra. So by now, the moon's probably in Scorpio. So even more water, so even more cleansing. So I also want to speak on the retrograde as far as since we're all here with each other, sitting here in this big collective consciousness, like, okay, guys, so what is it? What's going on? What do you got to say? There's the people over there arguing, there's the people over there ignoring it, there's the people that, are making strides, there are people that are destroying. It's a whole lot going on. And we're all here together at the same time, though. And all the decisions that we are making on an individual level is affecting the collective. So as far as cleansing, water is being highlighted, liquids. Maybe if I just keep going. Modern ruler of Pisces, Saturn retrograde, and the North Node is in Pisces. Saturn retrograde is 29 degrees. So, and Uranus is at 29 degrees. Those are the anaretic degree. And it's a very critical degree because it's wrapping it up, 2 and 9 equals 11. It's the master semester number, which also breaks down to the 2. So the polarity of life, like, it's coming back down to the most basic so it can transform once again and become the creative, fertile ground, basically like a womb or an egg, Again, we could go into that, but just not right now. But do take note that I said it. Okay, modern ruler of Pisces, the esoteric ruler. This is what surprised me. This is when my mind was like, hello? The esoteric ruler of Pisces is Pluto. Hello? What do you mean? What are you telling me now? That's how I felt when I read that, and I, looked more into it. And it's like Pluto is the modern ruler, traditional ruler of Scorpio. And I'm like, hello? Again, the water, the elements, people, the elements. Water is really big right now. Saturn retrograde, 29 degrees, Pisces. And if we're thinking in an esoteric way, and it being ruled by Pluto, it means we're supposed to dive super deep into the collective consciousness, and we have to deal with whatever is dug up. And that's essentially what is going on through all these retrogrades happening at once. And it's like some people are finding treasures, some people are finding obstacles, some people are finding stuff that they left undone. And that plays out in myriad of ways for everybody. But that's what I'm saying. Some people are just making shocking discoveries, and it's all literally happening at once because we are at that critical degree of the lessons we're supposed to learn generationally, and the lessons are being told through us generationally through what these outer planets, so Saturn, Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, and especially the last three. And then the esoteric ruler of Cancer, Neptune is. And Cancer is the within esoteric astrology, Cancer is the level, the energetic level where the soul can enter the body, basically, or just enter the realm to be birthed. And I just think that's really deep, because when you think about it, the collective consciousness also plants seeds within the individual, and then the individual plants seeds in the collective consciousness, and it's just like a continuous feedback loop. The Ouroboros, or the eight, or the infinity, whatever you want to call it. All right. The other retrograde that I wanted to speak on, Mercury is retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius. Mars is also in the sign of Sagittarius. Okay. Sagittarius is about expansion. After the liquid was cleared, now the fire, now, because once you excrete the waste, now the vessel is cleansed and now can receive even more and do even more. But listen to this. The esoteric ruler of Sagittarius is Earth. Okay. Insane, right? So, currently, at this time, communication, drive, and motivation are all Earth oriented at this time. And if you're in tune, regardless of how you choose to express it, if you're in tune and listening, I know you have the awareness that Earth has a soul as well as a spirit. Okay, and each has a different name. So there's Tara and then there's Gaia. So, and also in traditional astrology, Sagittarius as well as Pisces are both ruled by Jupiter, which is currently retrograde in Cancer, where the soul enters the realm to be born. So, this is literally, as I'm describing it out loud, I didn't write it down or nothing, but as I'm describing it out loud, it just sounds like the rebirth of the collective consciousness, y'all. And that's literally what we are embarking on right now. And that's insane to think about. And I think like the action section of this told us we're supposed to rest and dream into it, meditate, divinate, do what we do to process the energies, you know? That's real. Chiron, the wounded healer, I believe is retrograde in Aries, another fire sign. If we're going off, piggybacking off Mercury and Mars being in Sagittarius. And that's been an ongoing theme for a minute, reclaiming true I am. It's just the reclamation. I'm reclaiming the hello I am. Okay, it's like deeper than independence. It is the is. It is. I am. It is. I am, so it is. Intense stuff, man. Venus is in Scorpio too. So the flow of love and the flow of beauty is getting that deep cleanse too. Excuse me. The cleanse. It's all coming through. But I also just need a little chill myself. Wow. The rebirth of the collective consciousness. And I like to do these things because it's really, you can't make it up. I didn't really say too much on the North Node other than that it's in Pisces as well. The esoteric ruler. Pluto is the esoteric ruler of Pisces. That's so interesting to me. And currently the North Node. So the direction we are all collectively taking. The North Node is connected to the moon. Again, the luminary, the pathways in which light, aka information, aka what flows through our DNA, the nodes are connected to the moon, yes. So it's just a more micro look at how all these pathways connect to the greater whole. And the north node is the direction we're supposed to be going. So the south node is in Virgo. So we've already sifted through everything. And now we have to clean it up and make sure it's prepared for the new phase. If it's meant to go to the new phase. Okay, we didn't already sorted it. Now it's time to clean it up. Clean up what's here and just clean up and move forward. How beautiful. Venus in Scorpio. I was born when Venus was in Scorpio. So it's just like finding beauty in the release, like embracing the beauty in releasing and embracing the beauty of doing the work. Like that's really all I can think of is just getting down to it and doing the work. So when you release, it's a good one. And look now. We all know what a good release feels like in whatever ways that we know them. I'm not going to specify. Although Scorpion energy is pop culturally known to be I'm hearing a noise I don't want to hear, but known to be freaky leaks is all I was going to say. Anywho, timeline cleansing. So whatever's showing up, it's meant to be released, really. And you got to find the beauty in it. And remember the beauty in yourself as you embark on these things. I did dive into the etymology of the word vision that's on this card. And I'm not going to butcher none of the pronunciations. So I'm probably just going to post a picture or a screenshot or something. But it all comes down to the root word that comes from a Proto-Indo-European word that means to see, know. And that's what Aquarius is about. Pluto in Aquarius. Diving deep to know. Transforming through knowing why and what the cause is. And the cause is brotherhood, sisterhood, camaraderie. We're all here. So we should do our best because we've seen what happens when we don't. And that's really all it's about. And it's just a beauty and a joy to see how it's all expressed. But I believe and I know that's all I have. And I know this will find who it needs to find. And I'm just looking forward to chatting with y'all about all of this. And hopefully it helps and, stirred something in the mind because your girl's ready to have some different types of conversations, So, until next time.